Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day Charlotte this Thursday morning. It is 8 o'clock. I'm Jason Harper.
I'm Brigida Mack. Thank you for joining us. Paige is off today. You know, we want to start with that breaking news that we have continued to follow this morning. Another tragedy involving law enforcement in our community. A Concord police officer shot and killed last night. And
hard to say, but this is the second time in less than a week that an officer in our area has been killed in the line of duty. The Concord Police Department is getting ready for a press conference. Here's a live look inside. It could start anywhere, anytime in the next couple of minutes here. Our Amber Roberts is there live, and so as soon as they get to the podium, we'll bring you that press conference from Concord Police Department here in just the next couple of minutes. And this is what we know as we give you another live look here at the scene. One officer killed, another injured in a shooting in Concord late last night. We've also learned the suspect, who police say was armed, is dead. This happened just before 11 o'clock near Speedway Boulevard, about 4 stoplights away from Concord Mills Mall, according to our Amber Roberts. We spoke with a City of Concord spokesperson, Allison Sigmund, about this tragedy. This is what she had to say.
Everyone, their first priority are the men and women of this department and the family of our beloved fallen officer. There is no words to describe the feeling and emotions that can be felt throughout this community and this department right now.
Once again, that press conference from Concord PD set to start in a few minutes, we hope. We know in these types of situations it's fluid, and so we are expecting an update sometime this morning if it happens. Between now and 9 a.m., we will certainly bring it to you live right here on Good Day Charlotte. Jason?
And the last police officer to die in the line of duty in Concord was in 1899. That's according to the Officer Down Memorial page.
And tomorrow will mark 1 week since Mount Holly police officer Tyler Herndon was shot and killed in the line of duty. His funeral just held on Tuesday in his hometown of Kings Mountain. The man accused of killing Officer Herndon indicted on Monday, and he's expected to be in court tomorrow for a bond hearing.
All right, 8:02 now. We turn to weather because it is continuing to sort of be a top story here. Not as bad and as severe as yesterday, but not a lot of sun, not a lot of heat. We've had some fog to deal with this morning, and because of that, because of the wet weather, possible snow up in our mountain communities, there are some delays we want to mention this morning. Ashe County, Caldwell, Catawba County, Hickory Public Schools, Newton Conover City Schools, Rowan, Salisbury, Watauga County, all on 2-hour delays this morning. We want to bring in meteorologist Nick Koser this morning. You know what? In 2020, you got to find the little things to be grateful about, Nick Koser. Today is better than yesterday, so there we go.
Yep. It is. Not by much, but it is. Yeah, definitely dreary out there. We've got fog, too, so that's prompted this dense fog advisory going through 10 a.m., not for Mecklenburg County, but for counties all around us. And eventually, once that fog lifts, we are going to see cloudy skies overhead. So again, going to be pretty gray all day. Charlotte 40. Gastonia 41. Hickory still, though, continues to stay below freezing at 31. So if there would be any icy spots on the roads, they would be in that area. Temps are up just a touch from yesterday. 4, 5, even 6 degrees better than a day ago. And that's not saying much because yesterday's high was only 39. But today, we should do about 10 better here in Charlotte, make it up to about 48, 49, and call it a high temp. It's going to be cloudy for the vast majority of the day, but those clouds will eventually clear out heading into tomorrow. And it's going to be a quiet end to the work week before a warming trend takes place. And coming up this hour, we're going to take a look at what's going to happen for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So stick around for that. I know everybody, at least most people, likely have big plans for those 2 days. So, yep, we'll talk about what's going to happen in full detail. For now, let's get it over to Chuck Rhodes. He's got your neighborhood traffic watch.
Sir Nick, Good Day Charlotte, folks. Want to show you live outside. It's improving. I'm watching the traffic go left to right on your television screen. This is the Brookshire Freeway, southbound or inbound, approaching Independence. We were stacked and packed in this area a few minutes ago, but all lanes are now open on the Brookshire Freeway. On my map, I'm still showing slowdowns of 13, 7, 11 back toward I-77, but that's improving quickly. I don't know that you necessarily need to use the John Belk right now as an alternate route because it's improving so quickly, but it's an opportunity for you. Again, all lanes now open on the Brookshire near Independence. They've gotten everything out of the travel lanes. Also on the board right now, folks, I've got an incident clearing Independence near Harris, that now on the shoulder, as well as Eastway at Central. Good news for inbound Central. We're back to green conditions. Jason, back to you.
Thank you very much. Now to our coronavirus coverage. Fort Mill schools are moving to virtual learning for the rest of the week. Leaders there say that there's a possibility of community spread in several schools in the district. The change does not impact Fort Mill Virtual Academy students.
The Moderna COVID-19 vaccine could be just hours away from approval. And a black woman from North Carolina has made history as one of 2 leaders that helped to develop that vaccine. We're talking about Dr. Kismikia Corbett, and she's a UNC Chapel Hill grad as well. Most Americans could soon receive stimulus checks from the government too. Douglas Zader has more this morning from Washington on the status of relief negotiations on Capitol Hill.
For just a few minutes yesterday, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine played along with Republican Senator Lamar Alexander. Call it the spirit of the holidays, but both parties could soon be singing the same tune.
We agreed we will not leave town until we've made law.
And that law, that relief package they're all talking about, could include government cash for most Americans. Leaders from both parties are nearing an agreement that extends extra unemployment benefits for 4 months and an extra $300 a week, as well as stimulus checks for most Americans in the neighborhood of perhaps $600. And there would be more relief for businesses, too, replenishing the Paycheck Protection Program with $257 billion.
It's not a done deal yet, but we are very close.
Also close, the Moderna vaccine. An FDA advisory panel meets today to decide whether to recommend it, perhaps joining the Pfizer vaccine already in use, with more to come.
Moderna, we're supposed to have FDA emergency use approval hopefully today. And then don't forget, we also have AstraZeneca around the corner, and Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax, and Sanofi, GlaxoSmithKline. So several vaccines definitely going to help us get to where we need to be sooner than later.
And that was Douglas Zader there. Today, Novant Health is expected to get shipments of the Pfizer vaccine. They installed special freezers to be able to store the vaccine. Frontline medical staff, most at risk, can volunteer to get vaccinated immediately. Nearly 7,000 doses are expected.
We are giving priority to team members at the highest risk, including team members working in emergency departments, intensive care units, our COVID-19 units.
The state will also use what's called the COVID-19 vaccine management system. This is to make sure that you are safe and get your second shot at the right time.
New this morning, the U.S. may have more doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine than it initially thought. While each Pfizer vial is supposed to hold 5 doses of the first vaccine, pharmacists have discovered some vials may have extra doses, and this potentially then adds to the country's supply. The FDA has authorized hospital pharmacists to use the extra doses while the agency works with Pfizer leaders to, quote, determine the best path forward. Now, if you get the Pfizer vaccine, you may only be protected for 2 months. That's according to the North Carolina Health Department. And when it comes to side effects, Pfizer's report to the FDA said most of them were mild or moderate. Severe reactions actually seen in fewer than 10% of trial participants. The most common reaction, soreness or swelling at the injection site. Researchers found fever, chills, fatigue, headache were the most common side effects.
All of our efforts, all of our money, all of our attention has gone to developing a vaccine. And so that's really why the COVID vaccines have come out as rapidly.
Moderna has also reported some side effects to the FDA about its vaccine. An injection site reaction happened in nearly 92% of patients. Patients also said they suffered from fatigue, headaches, chills, and muscle and joint pain.
President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President Mike Pence plan to get the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as next week. The president-elect says Dr. Anthony Fauci advised him to get the vaccine sooner rather than later. According to the White House, the vice president and his wife will receive the vaccine publicly tomorrow. No word yet on exactly when Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will get her vaccine.
It's still ahead here on Good Day. Alarming new video has been released after police raided the wrong home in Chicago. What the city's mayor had to say, as well as leaders there shaken up about it. We're going to follow that. But right now,
is all that can be said at this time.
To Concord, where they're giving an update about the deadly shooting of that officer.
Investigating And the focus of this department and chief administration are the officers here with Concord Police Department and with the family of our fallen. I will introduce you to Chief Gary Gasick momentarily.
Good morning, everyone. The Concord Police Department, as you know, experienced a line-of-duty death last night, as well as a separate officer who was shot and wounded. This tragic and senseless loss of a member of our CPD family is devastating, not only to the officer's family and loved ones, but to every law enforcement officer in this city, county, state, and country. It's tragic incidents like these that serve as a grim reminder of the fact that police officers take an oath to serve their community and lay their lives on the line each day to protect the public. Early this morning, I met with the injured officer and the officer's father at the hospital. The officer sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot wound and is expected to make a full recovery. I also met with the family of our fallen officer to extend my condolences, to support them, and try to provide some level of comfort. I hope that the public can imagine and appreciate the shock, the pain, and the suffering that this family is going through right now and will continue to for a very long time. And the same is true for every one of my officers, every one of my employees in this department that dedicate themselves to keeping this city safe. At my request, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is handling the criminal investigation. My staff is able and willing to assist the SBI if that becomes necessary. 3 officers who were directly involved in this incident have been placed on administrative leave per policy, which is normal in cases like this. I'm going to be as forthcoming as possible in the hours and days ahead, and I'll provide information to the public as soon as practicable, so long as this does not compromise the important work that the State Bureau of Investigation has to conduct. So please be patient while the investigation continues. I want to thank our many public safety partners for their assistance over the last several hours and the assistance that's been offered to us in the days and weeks to come. Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office, Cabarrus County EMS, Concord Fire Department, Kannapolis Police Department, North Carolina Highway Patrol, North Carolina Alcohol Law Enforcement, North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department, and the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. Now allow me to take you through the event, but understand that this is preliminary information as best as I know it right now. At 10:18 p.m. last night, we received a call from a citizen reporting a vehicle crash near the northbound ramp of I-85, which is exit 49. An on-duty ALE agent who happened to be patrolling the area was the first to arrive and locate an unoccupied vehicle that had crashed into a guardrail. A CPD officer arrived there moments later. A citizen passing by alerted the officer that a male subject had just attempted to take her vehicle while she was in it, and the citizen provided a physical description of the subject and the location where that occurred, which is near the Sonic, address of 7761 Gateway Lane Northwest. That information was shared over the radio to responding officers. Within a few minutes, the ALE agent drove to the Sonic location while the Concord officer remained with the crashed vehicle. The ALE agent and 2 CPD officers approached on foot a male subject matching the description given by the citizen. That subject was also on foot at the Sonic parking lot. Moments after the agent and officers approached the subject pulled out a handgun and began shooting in the direction of the officers. We believe this is the point in time in which the officers sustained their injuries. At about the same time as those shots were fired, 2 additional CPD officers approached the area on foot, at which time they observed the 2 injured officers and the subject who had just entered a nearby SUV that did not belong to him. As these 2 officers approached, there was an exchange of gunfire between that subject and these 2 additional officers. The subject was struck during that gunfire exchange and sustained fatal injuries. The 2 additional officers who were involved in that second exchange of gunfire were not injured during that exchange. Now, I recognize that you have probably a lot of questions. Understand that this criminal investigation has been handed off to the SBI, so I'm limited in the specific details beyond what I've already said, but I'd be happy to take some questions.
Good morning, Chief. First, not to go into Billy being shot from WCSC Charlotte. I just wanted to clarify how many officers in total were involved?
Well, the ALE agent, and there were a total of 4 CPD officers initially. Obviously, after the report of shots being fired, additional resources responded to that area.
The officer who was killed, the officer who was injured, those 2 officers were the ones who made the initial contact before the additional 2 officers.
Correct. And the second 2 officers that arrived on scene saw 1 officer down in obvious grave condition, and the other officer that was injured that was standing nearby guarding or protecting that injured officer. So those 2 officers then advanced in the direction of where the suspect went. And at the time that they approached, he got into that vehicle. I believe it was the driver's side of a vehicle that belonged to, I believe, one of the Sonic employees. No, we have no idea. A car passing by alerted our communication system that, hey, we believe there's been a car crash. We, of course, responded to check it out.
One more question.
There's no playbook for this. Concord Police Department is comprised of a resilient bunch. We're going to get through this. We're a big family. It's going to be tough. It's going to affect us in different ways for different lengths of time at different levels. But we have a huge support system here. We've got a community that provides us with a broad base of support. We have elected officials, our city council, that supports this department, city management that supports this department, a robust chaplain program that is active in all of my officers' lives, and we will be working tirelessly to make sure that whatever support, whatever services, whatever we can do for my employees, we're going to do just that, and we are going to get through this. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. As or if more additional information is available, we will push that out. Continue to follow our Twitter feed, and as you all have my contact information, you can reach out to me with any additional questions regarding what was stated today. If it involves the actual investigation, please reach out to the SBI.
All right, if you are just joining us, you have been listening to that update from Concord PD about the deadly shooting that killed an officer in the line of duty last night. We are going to continue to follow this breaking situation. We got to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll be right back.